Saudi Arabia and the United States have been partners for many years. The US needs oil and the Saudis buy arms, $350 billion worth in the past decade. A new generation of Saudi leaders were adjusting to what it had seen as a resurgent Iran and a retreating American presence in the Middle East. Then came Donald Trump. His first foreign trip as president was to the kingdom. He danced and delivered a speech that emboldened the Saudi leadership. Trump pledged to take an aggressive stance towards Iran, Saudi Arabia's biggest rival in the region. He also wanted an end to funding terrorism. A month after his visit, the Saudis cut off diplomatic and economic ties with Qatar. Trump drummed out a tweet. US warplanes and 11,000 soldiers are stationed in Qatar, their biggest base in the region. With this military muscle, Trump often ridicules the nuclear deal brokered by his predecessor and accuses Iran of fueling sectarian violence and spreading terror.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. We have to stop the funding of terrorism.
Qatar's wealth hasn't made them immune from sanctions, as Saudi and the Emirates blockaded their Gulf neighbor.
They were accusing Qatar that Qatar is closer to Iran and have close ties to Iran, and now by their measures, declaring those measures against Qatar, they are pushing Qatar toward Iran.
To ease pressures at home, Saudi's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman says he's rooting out corruption in the kingdom. Extra freedoms have been given that allow women to drive, visit cinemas and sports stadiums. Mid-December, the US government stepped up its attack on Iran via the United Nations.
The Iranian regime's behavior is growing worse. Its ballistic missiles and advanced weapons are turning up in war zones across the region. In this warehouse is concrete evidence of illegal Iranian weapons proliferation, gathered from direct military attacks on our partners in the region.
These weapons are said to be Iranian, fired by rebels against Saudi-led forces backing the Yemeni government in that war against Iran-allied Houthis in Yemen.
Well, there are some inherent contradictions. To date, Trump has not scuttled the Iran deal, the Iran nuclear deal, which he promised to do during the election campaign. It's still in place. Many of his advisors are actually imploring him to maintain the nuclear deal, yet to push back on Iran and other activities.
Lebanon, too, has been affected when its Prime Minister, Saad Hariri, resigned his post while on a visit to Saudi Arabia. After returning to Beirut, he changed his mind. Iran supports Hezbollah in Lebanon, part of the coalition government that Saudi wanted to change. The Iran-Saudi diplomatic game is far from over, as the US concentrates more on its domestic policies. Iolo Dafydd, TRT World.